here's what I'm going to say. I am absolutely certain that Deborah Silverman is not going to continually get my name wrong. I'm absolutely certain of that, as would anyone. Anyone who is willing enough to give that basic respect, and willing enough and aware and conscious enough to work on that bad habit and fix it. I don't want to give people a hard time. I really don't want to give people a hard time, but I have to be real. Do I want to be speaking this way about anybody? Do I want to be, anything that says, oh, you shouldn't be talking this way about, an immediate family member? Well, guess what? I am, because that is the truth of how I feel in the situation. I don't want to. Do not look at me as a, spoiled young, adolescent who doesn't respect his elders. Don't look at me that way. I'm very aware of what I'm saying, because I am not that. I am not that. But it just so happens that these little things come up. And they just do. And they can result at the low level to passive aggression. Mars is in Cancer right now. That's the low road of Mars in Cancer, is passive, one of the aspects of it is passive aggression. So, that's one of the downsides of it. That's not, the only thing, but that's one of the parts of Mars in Cancer at the low level. It can lend itself to being passive aggressive. And sometimes I slip into passive aggressive because why bother? I'm just so irritated and so annoyed that I slip into passive aggression. I don't want to slip into passive aggression. You need to go do your research. Go find anyone my age who is doing the work that I am doing. If you go look at, teenagers and all those things, a lot of them are doing prank videos. I don't even know what they decide to do, but it's not what I do. And I don't want to be looked at in a way that I am not mature enough to accept certain things, because I'm not that person. And that is just external projection. It's not me. If you want to make me look bad and look immature, whatever, not my issue. Not my issue. And there's really, really great comfort when you step into your own autonomy and say, guess what? This is projection. Living from the inside out. Now, that doesn't mean when it comes to personal power that you're going to abuse power and, do anything, disrespectful. There are diplomatic ways. Pam Gregory talks all about that. And all those kinds of things. Sometimes I wonder, today at least, if I should, give the silent treatment. I don't know. I mean, I can't believe I'm thinking about that. I really don't, but, it's just sort of to prove if you're not going to call me by my name, which is, just common decency, then, yeah. And I know it's not intentional, but then again, There's no excuse. No excuse. You need to be true to what you believe. Don't let anything, external make you out to be wrong unless you really are wrong. Unless, doing something wrong, I don't want to go, I don't want to go down that, rabbit hole. I really, really don't. But do not look at me in a bad and immature way. Don't look at me that way. Don't look at me that way. Don't look at me in that negatively young way. If you ever watch this meeting again, and if you ever watch me, don't just watch me and, think, oh, look at that, that person talking about all this. He, thinks he knows what he's talking about, and he is just saying this to make himself feel better about himself, and he's just not wise. I'm not going to be arrogant, and I'm not going to pretend to be a know-it-all and be, very wise, because there's certain, I'm only of a certain age and, growing. And, there are people that are wiser than I am. But I'm also not dumb. I'm also not a dumb person. There are smarter people who curse. I've never cursed. I just want to throw that out there. Now, I would hate for you to come here only to hear me go on about that. So that is a disservice to all of you, and that's not fair. So I am going to be having Susan fill you in on some details that she did not get to today, because this bus is needed to get back, and unfortunately it was kind of cut short a little. So she's going to be filling you in on some details, and that's going to be it. So I just want to tell you about that. So hopefully I shouldn't have to throw anyone under the bus again. I don't like doing it. I don't. But, I'm not going to hold back. It's for darn certain. So, anyway, that's it. Everybody, I am going to have Susan fill you in on that. This is, the reason this is happening is because I've given you the announcements. Susan, started talking to you about that. Just going to continue to fill you in. That's it for tonight, everybody. Once she is done talking, then you're free to go.